welcome to Roundtable 72. It is now official. General chat has been recorded for YouTube. You may say hi. You post some wonderful gifts for us. We love the gifts. And as usual, weekly maintenance will be 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, as usual. That's UK time. And I look forward to the general chat of asking why the servers are down. It's the highlight of my week, every single week.
I like Wednesday mornings.
I don't. I have to get up.
Chilled out with a cup of coffee, sitting there, breaking things.
A year ago,
Fun.
that would have been me. No, I do the late shift. You can have the early shift. Okay, so let's get going with some general news. We've got lots and lots of stuff to go over this week. Let's start with good news. Tuna and Chris are going to go live tomorrow as ARC admins. I'm going to do that first thing in the morning. I had asked them to remind me, but they've forgotten so far. But there you go. So be gentle with them. They're still learning. There's a lot of information to take in. While I'm at that, we've also got a bunch of new mods who are also still learning. So give the guys a break. There's, as I said, so much to learn, so many different commands, so many different things. It's a struggle keeping up with it. I have problems with it most of the time, so how they feel, I can't even quantify. So that said, recently we've had some spats. Anyone getting abusive with mods or trying to be disrespectful or just generally giving them a hard time, like I say, they're new, they're learning, they've got all the backup they need. So if they need to escalate something, they can. Absolutely, everybody is here for them. So just give them an easy time. It would be appreciated. Following on from that, we've noticed recently we're growing quite a bit. We've got a lot of new faces in. We've been seeing recently people with some really edgy, sort of racist style names. It's not clever. It's not edgy. You will be immediately removed. So if you've got any cool ideas or friends coming in who've got some cool ideas, just don't. We're an inclusive community. Everybody is welcome. Don't do it. It isn't big. It's not clever. Ban appeals for that sort of stuff are going to be thrown straight out of the window, like you all saw yesterday in general chat. Edgelords and racists and etc. are not welcome here, and it saddens me to say that these are actually ARC players, not Rust players, that are doing this. So again, on the bad side of that, don't do it. On the good side of that, thank you to everybody who has reported and kept the community clean and dealt with it in a nice, decent manner. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Also, we'd like to remind people that tickets are for problems that arise from server crashes, rollbacks, and situations that are beyond any player's ability to help with. We will not be restoring dead dinos or inventory if they are not for the above reasons. It's taking up way too much time. There are cases where it has happened. It's got to be a damn good reason. We can't do that. We will not be doing that. So don't even bother reporting. If it doesn't fit into the above category, there is still help. We've got a new forum section, which is under the help section. So you can go there, you can post your question. We're in there, the mods are in there, the admins are in there, and there's the whole Discord full of 1,700 people. Lots of stuff is getting resolved in there. So again, if it doesn't come under the ticket section and it's not urgent, that stuff is watched. There's always room for people to get help. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, I appreciate that everybody thinks that the admins, the mods, have all the answers, but genuinely, well, we might, but genuinely, it's not necessary because there are many more people out there with all the answers too.
Yeah.
So opening a ticket to ask a question like, I don't know, how do I tame this dino? It's just not necessary to ping all of the staff members, potentially at ungodly hours in the morning with something like that.
Yeah.
The more time we spend on tickets, the less time we get to spend on cool stuff.
Exactly, yeah. The more time we've got, the more time we've got to develop. We do respond very quickly. It's something I'm very proud of. I think our community support and our staff support is probably the best out there. I kid you not, and I've had that confirmed by several players now who've thanked us for everything we do. I personally have got out of bed at 12:30 early morning to help somebody with a ticket just because I was awake. We do watch it. Every single ticket pings us. We're there if you need us, but community support is also a thing now. So use it if you can, and reach out. There's lots and lots of help out there. On to good stuff. Arc is actually popping off at the moment. We seem to be rising in numbers, and the good people are far outweighing the bad people. So although what we've just discussed was kind of on a downer, absolutely is not the case global wide. The good far outweigh the bad. We love all you guys. You're all amazing, and we will continue to support and develop more fun for you to enjoy. And thank you again. I know you guys appreciate everything we do. The support you show is absolutely mind blowing. Let's keep it a great place to play. I'm going to stop now before I get all over emotional about it, but really, we couldn't have predicted things would go this well. The support we get on a daily basis is absolutely amazing. So, thank you again so much. Anybody got anything to add to that?
I think it's more people are trying to shoot each other over trilobite gods and whatnot.
There's a lot of cults spreading up around the server, I've been noticing. It's getting quite
Fine.
worrying. It is fine. I'm sure you've got it all handled. There's turtle cults now. There's trilobite cults. There's whatever Panda's got going in that weird room she's got. There's some really strange stuff going on. Thank you, Fred.
Is that the room with no doors and the padded walls? Anyways,
Yes. Anyway,
if we yeah.
I have no idea what he saw. You know what he's like. So, I've got a massive chunk of art stuff then. Huge. Okay, let's start with the art stuff. So first of all, you've all now seen the new message stating that the save is about to be performed. What few of you may be unaware, I don't know. We were asked if we could put a delay in between the message and the actual save being performed. So now there will be a 10-second delay between seeing the message and the save actually happening. There may be a small amount of lag while the save goes off. Some of the bigger maps like Gen 2 and Fjordjaw are worse than others. We've got some of the save files that are well over a gigabyte in size now, despite cleaning the maps and keeping them all nice. This is mainly due to the amount of activity and stuff that's going on the map, and hopefully this gives you a heads up to get safe. Know it's going to happen and avoid any mishaps. Open the discussion and feedback channel if this is not enough. If you feel that 10 seconds isn't enough, let us know, and we'll come to sort of a happy medium over it.
Just also want to say, it's no matter where you go, saving in Arc will be a problem.
Yes, totally. It's
server can't do anything while a save is being performed, because otherwise the data would change. And to try dragging a gigabyte file from one disk to another. It doesn't happen instantly.
No, the whole file gets locked when the save goes off, so nothing actually on the map can happen while it's doing that because there's nothing to save it to. So you get this little hitch, but with the warnings, we can at least now make you aware of when the little hitches are going to happen, and you can sort of compromise. And it is much nicer now, definitely approved. Thank you very much for that. But again, everyone's opinion's different. So if you have a different opinion, let us know. We'll see what we can do.
Moving on then.
That's a good question, and we will come back to that. Unless you want to address that right now. Decay timers. Seen a lot of empty bases while writing / decay time to see that they have 330 plus days left before the decay. This seems like a very big timer to have an empty base. Would this be considered to be lowered?
No, because those people pay for that privilege. They're still limited to the same number of structures as everybody else. So if they stop, then obviously decay will return to normal for them and they'll get wiped out.
Yeah. We have some people who work away. I know we have somebody who works sort of oil rigs and stuff like that. So if you're away for 6 months, it's a pain in the backside. We've got some very big breeders, and I've heard some horror stories of some of our more prominent players that they've spent 6 years on a server to come back and find out that it's been completely wiped to the floor, and they've lost what they've spent years or months doing, and it's heartbreaking. So that's why that time.
That's short, isn't it? There we go.
Yeah. So moving on very quickly, because we've got a lot to go through. As a few of you may have seen or heard about, there's been some Gen 2 issues this week, where essentially the tick rate of the server was halved. It was that bad. The problem's been found and sorted out by a very cooperative tribe, so props to the tribe. I'm not going to name any names. You know who you are. Most of them do know who it is. But thank you very much for the assistance. There was no aggro over it. There was nothing like that. It was all handled really nicely. So again, thank you to the tribe involved. That said, we found during our investigation that the issue was down to a very large base, over 300 tech crop plots, and somebody botting, teleporting backwards and forwards to keep the base loaded and force the gachas to eat. Again, this sort of behaviour is not really sportsmanlike and is detrimental to the server as a whole. Everybody suffers. Everybody likes a nice clean server, and it just generally shows a lack of respect for everybody involved. A ban was issued. G2 is back to normal. And again, thank you to the tribe members involved to very quickly get things back under control. It's greatly appreciated when it goes like that. And thank you to Sandy, who, despite everything, stayed up, spectated, followed people around, inspected a load of stuff, and generally got to the bottom of absolutely everything and came back and reported it to us so we could action something with it. So that's what our admins and mods do, especially the admins. They've got more power to do that. So again, I think everybody should give Sandy a big round of applause because she has single-handedly brought Gen 2 back to a decent playable server. That's why we love our admins. That's why we very carefully select them. Everybody is here because they love helping, and they want the servers to be as best as possible. They do this for free. We don't pay them. They don't particularly get anything out of it. Just the fact that they get to help people, and they love the server that they play on. So thank you again, Sandy, and all the rest of the mod team. Absolutely amazing job.
You're welcome.
See, it's
I'm going to inject a bit of knowledge in here as well.
okay.
While I was digging around in the dev kit today, and I found this incredibly interesting, I was looking at the experience values, the crafting experience associated with various things that people feed to gachas, including species Z and Y. Both of the values on those plants are actually lower or equal to berries, major berries, tinto berries. So the problem with the species plants is they have lots of lovely effects around them and animations and wavy stuff going on. They also don't stack as well as the berries. So if you are insistent on growing things to feed to your gachas, it's more efficient. The berries, stack in 600s, I believe? Something like that.
Yes.
It'll be way more efficient and much better for people's local frame rates to not use the species plants. Just a thought.
My apologies, the phone went. Are we ready to go on?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, excellent.
I was just telling people species plants were crap.
Yep, totally. Mega agree.
No, I mean they're even. I checked the XP. For those of you who don't know, the amount of XP you get from crafting an item, even if it's not craftable, dictates how fast the gacha will eat it and then poop crystals. So the more XP you get from crafting something, the faster it will produce for you when it eats. Species X, Y, and Z all have less crafting experience attached to them than a standard berry. So in the interests of, helping people with their local frame rates, as species plants have lots of wavy tentacles, some of them have particle effects, and all the other. Stone is better. Stone is better than berries, much.
Definitely. I feed mine.
But if you are the kind of don't want to put as much effort in to get a better reward, and you insist on growing crops to feed your gachas, berries are better than anything else you can actually grow.
Yeah.
Is my point. And it will help people out massively. And yourself, because you can stack more food in them and leave them running longer.
Mm-hmm. If
So,
you've got to grow, berries are the way. And hence going back to the gachas and their production linked to XP, hence what Mango is saying right now. The war maps are also a very, very good one. That was unofficial. I think the war maps are one of the things that people do most often. They give you massive XP and decent output. But yeah, the quit with the plants. They're rubbish. Speaking of plants, we came across an issue with crop plots, which also led into the investigation that happened on Gen 2. So if anybody's seeing anything weird going on with build limits, this is why. A while back, we added back in vanilla crop plots. Now, this wasn't because people needed vanilla crop plots. This was to fix an issue with an achievement. Specifically, I think it was Panda when she was trying to get Molnir, right?
yeah, that was
Yeah.
right.
The Explorer note.
You needed to get a tech crop plot, I believe, but it had to be a vanilla, not an S+. So they were added back in for that reason.
The problem was you actually had to be able to place it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just having it didn't cut it. You had to be able to put it down.
Yeah. So this is why they were brought back in. It's become apparent some people have noticed this and have been using them to get around the crop plot limits. It's been misused, and as a result, we've now capped all of the crop plots back to 30. So if you can't build and something weird's going on, that's probably why you're probably over your crop plot limit. You can check that with show limits, /show limits. That's right, yeah. Show limits.
Not quite. The crop plot global limit is controlled by the game, so it pops up, like when you place flags and paintings and stuff like that.
Does that way, doesn't it? But have you done the other way via the show limits?
The show limits blocks you from placing the vanilla ones. So that'll just say 0. You are not allowed to build them.
Exactly. So if you have trouble building, it's because the crop plots were lowered back. So just check your limits, make sure you haven't got too many, remove any extras, and you'll be completely sorted again. I know it's unpopular to limit things. We've had this discussion about 4 times today with various different people, but we have to keep the server nicely maintained. Nobody liked it when we put the limits in for the crop plots, but then seeing Gen 2 by one player manage to halve the tick and bring it to its knees. Do you really want that kind of server? We have to maintain some sort of balance. Speaking of balance, have you checked out what I posted earlier, DJ? If you want to have a quick skim of the last thing in chat.
Oh, okay.
Because that's where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I saw. I was just looking at that actually.
Okay, so I've discussed this multiple times recently. Yes, it is true there is no fixed rule and no etching in stone in place, but I've always thought it was common sense. So here goes the explanation. I've been asked several times about boosting. What are our thoughts on it? Why do we insist that players bring dinos? Why can't I do what I want to do? I'm okay with being boosted. Why can't I do it? That sort of thing. So my thoughts on this and the discussion I had, and it was just that. It was a discussion. It was not an outright ban. We do not have an official rule. But my thoughts are along this process. We've got an amazing community. We've got a lot of players who enjoy playing together. It's fantastic. I get told on a daily basis the community is great. Don't change it. There's nothing else we want to do with it. It's all good. So with boosts, how I'm thinking about this. If you have a player, and it's usually players who've come to the end of their art run, they've done everything. They still love the game, but they're out of things to do. So the question always comes up with some of the older players, is it okay to boost? / alternatively, is it okay to charge to boost? / alternatively, what are the rules around boosting? And thoughts are as follows. If, as a booster, you take a new player, and it's really easy to get to like level 60 to 100 now, fairly fast. Our rates are 5 times. You've got note runs. It's cake. It's so easy now to get to level 60. We are not official, so the grind to 60, it's insignificant here. The guy who's doing the boosting, if he takes 30 overpowered, 20 overpowered dinosaurs, whatever event he's going to do, world bosses are kind of different. I'm talking proper storyline bosses here. It's the stuff that unlocks tech. So if Booster A goes in and he takes 20 overpowered dinosaurs and he takes, I don't know, 5 people with him, it's over in 5 seconds. If he's doing the spider, if he's doing, I don't know, the monkey, it's 10 seconds. I've done it myself. It's not unreasonable to kill a boss in 10 to 20 seconds. The guy who's being boosted, he really learns nothing. He's not aware of why the guy is running with that dino. He's not aware of how to breed his dinos, what he should bring. It's just a case of wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Before you know it, you've done like all 8 bosses. You've seen all the cinematics. What have you got left to do? There's nothing there. Now, take Sandy's approach, for example. Everybody brings 3 dinos. So it doesn't matter what you bring. They don't have to be superbly boosted. They don't have to be bred. Just bring 3 decent Rexes or a couple of Theris if you're going. It teaches people to tame. It lets them see the taming process. It gives them a sense of, my dino did this. I did this. This is something that I've done. It gives you a sense of loss. We've all been doing bosses on the new maps, like when Lost Island came out, when Fjordur came out, the competition to get there first. Everybody enjoyed it. I don't see where the issue is. Everybody absolutely loved chasing for the first kill. It was fun. Everybody got competitive. You can teach people how to do bosses. You can teach them how to breed. You can give them nice tips on, we don't do the dragon with Rexes. This is why we don't do the dragon on Rexes. We want to build a decent community. We want to have a decent server, and obviously we want to retain people. Without people, we don't have a community. If they leave too fast, what's the point? It ruins their game. So again, there's no hard, fast rules. We just want people to learn, to enjoy, to play, and I don't think boosting does that. I don't think it's helpful for the server. Obviously, there's going to be some comments now, and I'm sure DJ's got something to add. So hit me with it. Let's talk about it. It seems to be a big issue.
My thoughts on that are exactly the same thing. Why bother playing the game if you're just going to get boosted through a boss fight by an alpha player? The fight ends in like 10 seconds and it's the biggest anticlimax on the planet.
Yeah.
It just seems daft.
I'm fairly sure I know what's at the bottom of it, but
well, if you're just here to build, then well, really you don't need to be boosted through bosses. We've got like loads of mods in that allow you to do some really cool stuff without even touching the tech tier. I just don't get it. It seems like there's no point in playing the game if you just have absolutely everything. And also, people don't. I know people don't like to risk stuff, but to do the gamma bosses on the island, I don't think you actually need a bred team of, a mutated team of dinos. I'm pretty sure. Definitely don't need for the Broodmother. Definitely don't need it for Megapithecus. Dragon, that'll be a lot harder. But if you have the right dinos and a couple of people with the right tactics, you're gravy.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually experience all of the bosses without a boost with very little effort.
There's 3 comments instantly there I totally agree with. I mean, for Dr. Smiley, you're surely at the level now where you don't need to be boosted. And we're not at all saying don't go with other people. That's far from it. Community's there for that reason. It makes things a lot easier, and it makes things a lot stressful when you're not on your own. But having somebody come who's blatantly not able to go there, what does it Bring people with 3 Rexes. With 3, 6. Now you bring 5 people with 3 Rexes, you've got 15 Rexes. The leader brings 5 overpowered Rexes. I got no problem with that at all. I'm not saying don't bring your bred dinos. You work for them. I'm saying don't bring 20 and teach them nothing. It's
The bit that I've got the problem with is one person brings all the dinos, all the gear. You walk into the boss dies, and then 10 people walk out. Like, yay, that was cool.
Yeah.
What else?
Theo's point there is bang on. Risk is a part of Ark, and
Yeah.
that rush of losing your dinosaurs and that rush of, my God, I've finally done it. And I did it myself, and I've done it with these bred dinos, and they were so good. It's part of why we play, surely.
That's what I'm trying to do with Alpha Fan here, but I died twice.
Ah.
So I have to find a new tactic.
Half of the fun is sort of when we were doing the Lost Island, when that first opened up.
Oh, that was amazing.
We wiped 15, 16 times, but when we
Oh,
finally
yeah.
got it, that rush was amazing. Having just been, somebody coming through and saying, right, okay, it's done, boom, done. That means nothing. But that's where I'm coming from.
I get that there are people who have played Ark to death. They've done all the bosses, they've completed the game type thing, and they might just want to come along and build some stuff. Yeah, But I'm just trying to think of, they might want to build, they might want to breed, and the tools to do that are locked behind some of the bosses.
Yeah.
So in those scenarios, those people will require, they probably don't want to stay to breed up an army that's capable of taking out the Alpha Dragon or whatever. But at the same time, I'm not entirely convinced. The time you'd spend farming up all your resources, building your base, getting your gear together to set up your team. I don't know. It's just it's choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the tools we've got, or some of the cool stuff for breeding, is locked behind tech tier.
Totally.
Because it's an end game thing.
That's one of my other points as well. Is you've just run somebody through a boss. They've got some tech. They're clueless. Now they want to use it, and they're lost because they've no clue how to get any element.
Or they haven't actually even started breeding yet, and they've got all the tools to do some cool breeding, and they're just not doing it right. I don't know. It's a difficult one.
It is, but there is no stone rule in place. So
no, there isn't.
I wanted to discuss it, see what people's thoughts on it, and from what I'm seeing in chat at the moment, people are on the same page.
I think it's pretty mixed. But I'm thinking about it. What we know, or the way we see people act, is you offer somebody an easy option, they will always take the easy option.
Yes.
Nearly always.
Yeah.
So if somebody says, "Hey, I'm going to do a boss run tonight," anyone's welcome just to pop along and grab the unlocks. In theory, well, whoever sees that and doesn't have them will say, "Yep, I'll take it," without a second thought, probably.
Yeah.
There are some dedicated people as well that go, "No, I want to do my full run through the storyline and I'm going to play it properly."
Yes.
By the time they've wiped on the dragon 3 times, their tune probably changes very quickly. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that a few times as well, William, that people seem to want stuff in stone. We don't want to dictate to everybody, but at the same time, common sense is a thing, and I don't know, it's a tough one. Speaking of map runs, and I know certain people are going to hate me at this point, but I actually love the idea, so I'm going to bring it up anyway. We were sitting talking in chat room not so long ago. There's a few admins and a mod, I think, and there was a really cool idea put forward. It's Prom's idea. He says apparently I inspired him, but it didn't click in my head. But it was Prom's idea, so I'm just going to throw it out there and see what response we get. Everybody seemed to love the Fjordjaw lockdown, and the Lost Island lockdown was also very, very popular. Gen 2, we didn't do it on, and we didn't get the same response. So the suggestion was, and again, I just want to gain some response of who's up for it and who's what. We launch a storyline server. We lock it the same way Fjordjaw was locked. And we have them timed for a set period of time. So say 3 months a map, something like that. And people can go in and do storyline and compete on those maps to be firsts and stuff like that. When we're finished, we move on to the next storyline map, see who can get far enough. Thoughts? There's more we can do it. There's more we can do to it, and it's not a fleshed out idea yet. But due to the popularity of the lockdowns, which we thought were going to be hated, and people seem to love them, yeah, let's do an Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 storyline run where you have to go in naked and afraid. You can keep your levels, but the same as we did with Fjordjaw. Just wanted some thoughts, because I thought it was a great idea.
That is a really cool idea.
What are your thoughts on that, DJ? What do you think?
Oh, I'm good with that.
You'd have to lock the map going in and out. Well, we could lock the map going in. There's no reason to lock it going out. Just so long as you can't take stuff back, you'll be fine. Same as we did with Fjordjaw.
Yeah, it's the same process as what we do with
Yeah.
any new map launch. Is you can travel to and from the map as much as you want. You just can't take anything with you when you go to it.
There's obviously going to have to be some thought into how long do we.
The shop would also be locked down on it as well.
The seasonal run was a Diablo reference, I believe.
Yeah.
Diablo 3, they do like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4. And then they have this thing called seasons. So basically you go in, you create a separate character, or you know, I don't think we're going to force separate characters. We can if that's what you want. But yeah, you get like this whole month season and you grind like crap and see how good you can get, and then it wipes. You start again. It's quite popular on Diablo. I thought I would hate it, but I actually quite like the seasons.
At the end of the season, though, you get something to take away with you for your main character.
At the end of the season, you keep your character. It gets added to your main roster of characters you can pick to play Diablo with, but you go no further on that character because seasons usually are very boosted in Diablo. I'm not suggesting we boost them majorly. I'm suggesting we keep the same settings. As long as we can have SOJ. What's SOJ? You have to explain yourself to Shardy. What's SOJ?
I can't think of what that is.
Nani is old. He doesn't get things like that. Stone of Jordan. Oh, is this a Diablo reference? Okay, gotcha. I don't know all the loot. I suspected it was a Diablo reference, but I wasn't sure. But yeah, I think maybe we put some more out on that and gauge some more opinions.
Yeah, we'd like to throw some ideas out there and obviously take ideas as well. So what have you been working on recently with regards to Ark then, Nani?
Working on recently with regards to Ark?
Yeah, you've been getting a bit of resurgence back into your Arky bits.
I'm obviously missing something really, really important here.
Obvious.
I'm being blindsided with it. What? I'm completely... No.
I don't even get it myself.
What have I been working on Ark recently?
I don't know. You tell me. But today you dropped me some comments about like, oh, that's good. That's still there. No?
I'm scrolling. No, I'm completely lost.
Halloween coming up.
Oh, right. Jesus. Yeah, my brain isn't even that far ahead yet. Yeah, so as we mentioned last week, I think, and I've been talking to, sharing some screenshots with, we are officially now planning the Halloween event. We call it Fear in the Forest. It's Ark, but not as you know it. There will be no dinosaurs on the map. It's going to be an event map.
Is it
You
the
will
same as last year?
similar, but I have more
Similar.
plans. I have more plans this year and a better complement of staff. So we're going to really pimp it this year. But the idea being is there's an event server. You transfer in. I'll go over that in a minute, Red Bob. I've got an answer for that too because that's been brought up. So you transfer into a map. It's a separate server. You don't bring anything with you. No guns required. No armor required. Nothing. No dinos. Upon arriving on the map, we have an event. The event that we run on Halloween is a zombie event. So we replace the dinosaurs with zombies, and we have like a defend the base kind of horde event. It's massively, hugely fun. Everybody's usually really enjoys it. I've had nothing but good feedback. Yeah, Syntac has played it before. Dead Survivor. Yeah, totally.
He hasn't played it like this though.
Not like this though. It's once you've seen it, and I know we've got a lot of new people who've never seen this before. Will there be drops?
Yeah, there's drops.
We do allow the drops, but the theme of the event goes as follows: you have a small area. You have to defend the area against progressively harder waves of zombies. We have kind of a little RP session going as we do it. It's much fun. It's kind of frantic, but you're not, yeah, like 7 days, exactly like 7 days to die. So it's in Ark. I'm not going to give too much information away because a lot of people have not seen it and it's going to be so cool. But you defend an area progressively harder.
Well,
it doesn't matter if you die. Kits are provided, weapons are provided, everything is provided. You can just respawn.
Yeah.
Go on.
The bit we're missing, the little bit we're missing though, is you don't originally arrive at the area you're defending, and you start in some landing craft on the beach.
Are we thinking of changing that?
Oh, okay.
In the past, it was a two event thing. So we ran 2 events. We had what we called the Castle of Angor, which was a PvP event where the players took on the admins and the mods. Back then, it was just basically the DJ Savvy.
Oh, I wasn't talking about that.
And then it led up to tonight's event, which is following on from that. You go and investigate what happened in the previous, and yes, you arrive on some landing craft and you're led up a pathway into a specific area. I'm not going to go into too much detail about. And some RP later, there's a fight involved, and there's prizes at the end. We give away some really cool stuff. In the past, we've given away untamables that can't be got anywhere else. I think some people have still got them on the server. And it's just much fun. It's just a let off steam Halloween event. Everybody loves Halloween. I haven't got a fixed date for you yet. It's going to be towards the end of October. We need some time to work on it. Hebigan is very, very nicely offered to give us some support with this. Hilda's going to be doing some building. Sandy, as usual, you're welcome if you want to help.
Yeah, I wrote in the chat there.
Yeah, you've had input in this for like 2 or 3 years now, so
I'm sure Bob.
But
I'm sure Bob still remembers.
Bob definitely remembers because he's talking about the Nemesis ripoff. Yes, we do get to kill the Nemesis ripoff again, Bob. But yeah,
my
Halloween
with
event. It's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome. I'll be sharing some screenshots as I go and as we do things, some little snippets, not too much. But if you can make it, there's going to be a big announcement beforehand. We'll try and find the right day to accommodate as many as we can. Could it not be on actual Halloween? Yeah, in the past we haven't actually done it on the day because we know everybody goes trick-or-treating. We know everybody has parties and stuff. So we will not be doing it on Halloween day. We'll ideally offer about 3 days. And we'll see which one of those days is most popular. Unfortunately, due to the amount of technicality that goes into it and the time it takes, we can't do more than 1 day. I wish we could. Maybe one day we can. But we'll find the most popular day for everybody, and we'll go from there. But yeah, it's really cool.
The main point I wanted to make about it, it's not just, oh, we've got an Ark event running, here's some more multipliers, here's some like increased harvesting stuff and a bit more XP. It's a proper full-on role-played, manned-up event where everybody has a lot of fun exploding things.
Exactly. It's just that. Unlimited ammo, unlimited guns, stress-free blasting of zombies. It's amazing. Everybody always seems to have really good fun with it. And then the last thing we'll cover with Ark then is we'll go back to, was it Red Bob's question about, yes, it was. What are the rules on selling dinos cheaper than shop prices? Or e.g., selling night wyverns that are only available to T1 members to people for under the cost of the shop? Is there a minimum price limit or just what people are willing to pay, or is it frowned upon?
I would say to that, you guys make the economy what it is on the cluster, just like the economy in real life. So if you undercut, that's fine. That's how you sell your products. But if you do what's called a race to the bottom, eventually nobody will be making anything.
Yes.
So just think about your pricing and charge what you think what is fair and what people will pay for it. But yeah, if you do the race to the bottom, eventually everything is worth nothing, and there is no economy left.
Yeah.
So
essentially kill your own server. GG.
Yeah, it's completely in your hands there. We can't legislate or put rules in for or against that kind of stuff, and I frankly don't want to police it. So we'll ask people politely to be sensible, to think about what they're doing. It's like selling your I need a bleep button. It's like selling your fucking breeding
Beep.
pairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're crazy if you sell breedable raid ready dinos, because you're just giving away your market advantage. They just take 2 and off they go and breed another 20, and suddenly you've set up your own competitor. So again, my advice is with stuff like that, make sure you're new to your dinos before you sell them. It's kind of common sense.
And that is an exact fair point there, Kara. If that continues on, all that hard work that everyone's put all the months and to be fair, some players, when I first started playing Ark, and then even when we started WickedNinjaGames, I had no freaking clue people were about to go to the length they went to get some of these really cool dinos and to breed them to the lengths they were going to do, and it takes months. If you're going to give that away, then I have no idea what to say. It just devalues everything you've done, and eventually just kills the market.
Yeah,
there will be no market to sell undercut dinos for because everyone's going to have one.
And what there is, I think, one rule that I was thinking of putting in, or piece of massively enforced advice. If you decide to quit Ark and you're adamant you're no longer going to play the game, and you've got a whole base full of high level max tiered breed dinos blueprints and all that stuff coming out, God's sake, please don't just give it away. Because
I don't think, to be fair, we can stop people doing that. What we can say to people is, by accepting it, you're essentially killing your own server. Everybody's moaning at the moment because people are undercutting. What's going to happen when there's nothing to undercut?
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen. Is everyone's going to have a top end Giga and a top end Rex and a top end Theory and a top end this that. You'll have nothing to sell. Backer has an excellent point there. There's brains right there. Be like Backer. Spay them. Make sure they can't breed them. Sell them for a decent amount. That's where the market is. Buying stuff off the shop and selling it cheap, I have no clue why you would do that.
So another point I think Cleveland made, he said, well, I've been here 2 months and I haven't got the saddle I wanted. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there are 20, 30 people on the server with max level Rex saddles. Go out, farm the materials, and get them to build some for you. Rather than spending weeks and weeks and weeks searching for that one saddle that you want, when there's a dozen other people who have already got it, why don't you spend a week farming the materials and then make them an offer to build the saddle for you?
Yeah. And here's another thought. It doesn't have to be fed shards that you're trading.
Yeah.
You could trade tames, you can trade resources. everybody hates mining metal. Everybody wants to sit around the bases and do reading and all that cool stuff. There's always something that somebody doesn't have and can't be bothered to do that you can provide.
If you're talking about crafting ascendant level saddles, then it's going to be the hide, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. I'll give you a bit of extra this, as we trade for that. It's great. But that won't happen if we kill the economy. So it's kind of like...
Yeah,
there's a demand for hide. Of course, there's a demand for hide. Your high-end saddles are 15 or 20,000 hide a saddle, and you need 20 of those to do a boss run. And then you wipe, you need another 20 saddles.
Yeah. What should I do with them? Because high level mutated that can't be neutered or paid, no option but want to sell. Sell them, but specify your price. This is what we're trying to get across. You've got to keep the economy going. That's how economy works in the real world too. Eventually, when you price your competitors down so far, they either go bust or you go bust trying to keep up. It just doesn't work for anybody, and it kills economy.
Yeah, the amount of effort you have to put in to get the thing you're selling really cheap doesn't equal what you're getting back for it. So you just stop selling it, then the price goes back up again.
What ways are there to acquire in-game points?
Low.
Drops. Bosses.
So
trading.
You get from killing bosses, the points rewards or the Federation shards you get from that are in the thousands. For collecting supply drops, you get points from those. From going through caves and getting chests, you get points from those. From doing vote rewards, you get points from those. For just playing the game, you get points. There's, coming out your ears.
I wasn't going to say it, but supporter packs also points.
Yes, totally. We sell points on the site.
I know people do not like talking about money, and I know where that goes with some people's minds, but the servers are expensive, and no one person is going to foot that bill. We can't, because it would quite literally, no mortgages would be paid, no shopping would be bought, and we'd be on the street in 3 seconds. So it has to be done somehow, as much as people don't like talking about it. And that's how we pay for stuff.
It's not so much the hardware that costs the money, it's the space to put the hardware.
Yeah.
Electric, so the power, the aircon, the bandwidth is the biggest cost.
Exactly. Divorces would happen. Yes, the cluster is hosted on private hardware. It is currently rented, yes. We've discussed the opportunity to whether we want to rent or buy, but to be fair, with the current electric prices going at the moment and the collapse that's going on, it might actually be way worse to buy than to rent. There's pros and cons.
Yeah. At the moment, we've got 2 racks in a data center in London. There's 2. Hang on. Got the info. Get me infos.
If we bought, okay, we save rental, but then you're paying electric, you're paying cooling, you're paying air conditioning, you're paying storage rent. If we wanted to upgrade at the moment, we can do so with the snap of our fingers. We can go, right, this is crap, we're having problems, I want one of these. And one of these, when can you deliver it? Thank you very much. And now, if you were to buy, you've got to sell your kit. There's downtime while it's maintained, all that sort of stuff. There's pros and cons.
Yeah, so right now, all this information is available on the website in our FAQs, but we've got two racks in data center in London. Although we've got there's guys there that monitor the physical servers all the time. So if anything goes wrong, hardware gets swapped out immediately and replaced.
Yeah.
But we've got 2 Ryzen 9 5900Xs, so that's total of 48 threads, and they'll turbo quite nicely up to 4.8 or more. We're on Gen 4 PCI controller, so we've got PCI 4 compatible RAIDed drives. Was it 8 2 terabyte Samsungs in there, I think.
We're set up on 2 different types of drives. Both of them are raided. The first one is striped, where the game files sit that we run the games from. They're striped for speed. And then the second set of drives are also raided, but they're mirrored. So should we lose data or backups, we can totally lose a complete drive and they'll just swap it out and we won't even notice. They're pretty slick, the machines at the moment. 128 gig of RAM in all of them. Both machines. My God, do we eat RAM?
Yeah, one of the machines is at 80%. Can't put any more servers on that.
Yeah. They're balanced so that we don't just overuse the cores. We can stuff 20 maps on a server if you so like, but it won't run very well. So once our cores are allocated, then it's a new machine. And it's done that way so that you get the best possible play experience ever. I've played on a few other servers, and I've played official for a little while. I honestly don't rate it. I know, obviously, we're blowing our own trumpets here, but I think we're pretty up there. There isn't much more we can do hardware-wise that would make much of a difference to Arc at the moment.
In fact, I'm pretty confident there isn't anything we could do in the realm of hardware for Arc.
No.
There's nothing out there other than going sort of like you'd have to go with something that's like multiple servers, low core counts, really high clock speeds. The more cores you add to a chip, typically the slower the clock speed. So less cores means higher clock speed. So it's a trade-off.
I've just noticed there's 30 people in this channel.
I know. Freaking brilliant. They're all here for the giveaway.
What about hosting on a quantum computer? Believe me, if we could get that far, we would. NASA, watch out. We have big plans.
But yeah, the new Ryzens might help. Very high clock speeds, well over the 5.5 gigahertz mark. Yeah. So that may be an opportunity for us. But yeah, at the moment with Arc, hardware is not the limiting factor right now. It is Arc.
No.
We've pushed it. We've pushed Arc to its limit with the number of mods, customizations, add-ins, plugins, databases, and stuff that sits on top of it. That's why we're reluctant sometimes to add new things, large new mods and stuff. Not only does it kill the load time for people, but it also adds more stuff that the server's got to keep track of and do and manage.
Yeah.
On that note, though, I think the final parting note for this. One of the rewards. Can I tell them about one of the rewards we'll potentially have for Halloween?
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So over the last 2 days, I've had my head stuck in the dev kit, rewriting our custom mod that we have on our cluster, that gives us some functionality in a few bits and pieces that we felt we needed. The reason I haven't changed anything in Arc over the last 6 odd months now is because we lost all the source code to our mod. So it was a real pain. I couldn't update it. So I had to rewrite the whole thing. So I've nearly finished putting all the functionality back in that we have. And I'm going to add a few extra things on top of that. Yeah. So the extra thing is going to be something that we can use for rewards at events. They will not be craftable in game. They will not be creatable in game. They will only be available from the events that we run and from any giveaways that we do on Discord. And they will be a full suite of Dino Mutation consumables that we have for the Domination Rexes. So that you will be able to customize the levels on your dinos to your liking using these level mutations. And I think the first appearance they will make will be at the Halloween event. So as part of the goodies that you will receive for participating in that event.
It does look like a Wyvern. I thought it wasn't first.
Isn't that a tech
Managar, yeah. It's like somebody took
Yeah.
Wyvern and melded it into a Manamagar and made it tech.
It's a tech wyvern. We've got tech wyverns, haven't we?
Yes.
That thing is
That's
a reaper.
I see what you're seeing. It's like an amalgamation of all three, yeah.
No, the wyvern stuck its head in a jet engine.
That was made before the Void Wyvern, so I'm guessing they stole the Void Wyvern. That's something game devs do quite a lot, though, isn't it? They see popular mod content and stuff like that. Oh, this is good. We'll bake that in. Common thing.
What I'm really dying for though is the latest updated dev kit. It'll also mean that we'll have stuff like transferable boss trophies from Lost Island, for example. Sandy mentioned that to me the other day.
The other day,
and
earlier today.
Yeah, today. That was the other day. It's been a long day. I'll probably try and mod a few of the S Plus structures as well to improve their functionality, make stuff work at the trading posts, that kind of thing.
I'm seeing the DMs coming in, guys, by the way. I obviously can't reply at the moment I'm recording, so I'll get back to you.
Stop DMing staff members.
Yeah, totally.
that goes against everything we're talking about. It's like, don't DM staff members. Oh, I see the DMs. Don't worry, I'll reply later. On the sly.
That is another thing, actually. I get people want to talk to us, and in some situations it's private stuff, so that's fine. But we get so many you would not believe. And we can't answer everybody, and it's unfair. And like I said earlier, we pay major attention to both DMs and tickets, to the point of, like I said, I've gone out to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning just to exactly. This is the problem, you see, is I like the community. Our people are amazing, and I love talking to all of you. But I'm spending 14, 15 hours a day at the PC, and it's not healthy. So I can't get back to all of you all the time. It's just not possible yet.
It's the best way to get a Rex saddle blueprint.
Orbital supply drop.
Yep, orbital supply drop on extinction.
Yeah.
They drop there quite regularly. Yeah. Or look at the loot tables on the website and go, where's the big saddles dropping? And anywhere it says big saddle, that's where you'll find big saddles.
Right. I was absolutely adamant we were going to stay under an hour today. And we're a third through, and we've just hit the hour mark.
Yes, but we have more than a full page of people in here.
Exactly. I don't mind taking the time. It's completely cool. My reasoning for wanting to keep things short is obviously this goes on YouTube afterwards. Our general view time for a video is under 15 minutes. And I would love to try and keep everybody up to date. I know people do watch the Roundtable, but an hour and a half video it's like a movie in its own right.
Yeah, so totally. Love it.
I try and keep it as short as possible. And shamelessly, thank you for the likes we're getting and the subscribes we're getting on YouTube. They're going up, and it helps us immensely. It gives us more coverage. So thank you very much for that too. It's really cool.
Can we fix the vote page on the website? Tell people they can vote for more than 3. Yes, you can vote for more than 3, but only your it is more than 3. It's 3, but only your first X count, I believe. After that, you just get points.
Yeah. I know there's been some confusion over the voting recently, and to further address that, the plugin we use for the votes is pretty much the main one out there that everybody uses. It completely depends on the servers, their side, to keep track of the requests and stuff like that, and talk to our plugin that we install locally that gives you rewards. And these guys are in it for they have hundreds of clusters on there, and you can imagine the amount of traffic they get and the hammering they get. And unfortunately, when things don't go right, it is their end. It's because they're massively overworked or they're having some downtime, and there's nothing we can do about it. We'd love to, but we can't. Yeah, and that's exactly why, Skyas. The traffic they get must be absolutely phenomenal, and they know that as well. They're also ad riddled, you've noticed, and they make quite a bit of money off it. They charge for people to get onto the top slot of the server rankings and stuff. There's just nothing we can do about it. They are what they are, and it is the best and the only thing out there at the moment.
Well, what we can do, Dr. Smiley, is clarify. You get points for all your votes, but you only get rewards for your first X number of votes in a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
Because, we couldn't, doesn't stop people voting, but we'd like to reward them with something.
Totally.
So, yeah, we can change that. That's no problem.
Thank you very much for that comment.
Give it a couple of weeks, he'll be like, no.
Yeah. That's one of the DMs I'm waiting for, actually. So, hello, I'm not ignoring you. Yeah, we're players too, and over the years we've hosted our own servers. We've played various games. We've run clans in WoW, EVE Online, all sorts of stuff. For me, particularly, and the reason I do answer the DMs and I struggle not to, including it eats up so much time, but I struggle, and the reason for that, there's been so many close friends made in gaming over the years that it's unreal. I've Some of the people I've met purely in game came to my wife's funeral at the beginning of this year. I've seen babies born and stuff like that from people I've just met online and seen their entire lives as they grew over like 15, 20 years. Gaming is freaking amazing, and the community and everything is what we're all about for that reason. I've a small group of players that we had originally. Somebody doesn't get to play because the hard drive's broken. Sorry, I'm buying you a hard drive. We need the group. They become family. So that's why kind of we are the way we are, and it's why the community is the way it is, because it's important and it helps people out from all walks of life, people with social problems, people who are lonely, all walks of life. It's Gaming is, well, I'm looking for a different word, but a crutch for everybody. Gaming is our escape. It's our sort of time away from the real world. It makes us feel better, and it's important, which is why I'm so protective over the community, and why get rid of the Dinosuchus. What's wrong with the Dinosuchus? What are you saying about the crocodile? It is the crocodile, the Dinosuchus. Yeah,
it's dying.
Turtle doesn't do turtles because of them. Okay, right. This is turtle cult stuff. I get it. Exactly. Winter months, stuff like that, when you can't go out. It means a lot to people for different reasons. And that's why I get so passionate about it, because I've known some of these guys for like 15, 20 years. And it's massively important to some of us. It's always better when there's people around. I don't care what game we're playing. I don't care whether it's great FPS, great graphics or not. It's about the people for me. So that's where that comes from. Can you get some opinions on scorpions? Yes, you can. They're like nippy and they sting you. They're horrible, and you get lots of shitting from them. Crystal megas do absolutely spawn. Crystal Isles, there's an area where the crystal drakes are. You know the nice green area with little lakes and stuff? They spawn around those tiny little lakes and stuff. That's where I found mine. I think they're also knockout tames, aren't they? They're cannibal tames. Much, much easier for the crystal ones as well. And for those that don't know, they poop the raw crystal, which you can then feed your baby crystal dinosaurs and stuff like that. That's why they're important. And why we're probably going to be giving them away today. But I digress.
That's a good idea, isn't it?
As people are still chatting, I'm going to race through the Conan and Russ stuff, because we've also got giveaways to do. And I really don't want
We do.
People have been great being here an hour. I'm quite frankly amazed that people have stayed for an hour. So I'm going to rattle through, and then we'll get to the cool stuff. So, don't think there's much on docs this week. It's ticking. It's still going. It's still quite popular. Conan. I do have some stuff to say about Conan. I'm going to be quick. So we've been discussing the Paragon mod a lot recently. I've had a look at it now on the dev server in depth. I've actually played some, tested various situations. I'm happy with the combat side of things. There's still an issue being able to do a tanky pet and a good personal build. But with the way wizards are at the moment and zombies and pets, I don't think it's a massive issue. The amount of time it takes to get to this level to counteracts that quite nicely anyway, because you've got to level up at least twice. You end up the problem I found though with the snag is expertise. It's too strong, way too strong. If you've got too many points and you end up maxing out all of the trees, strangely the biggest problem I have is with expertise. You end up in heavy armor with an armory of weapons on you, a bunch of potions and all this sort of stuff. And as anybody knows with Conan, armor is a trade-off. So the more you wear, the heavier you are. Yes, you're a complete badass, but your weight is up there. You can't do anything. With the system in place with this particular mod, with allowing the new expertise to go to 20, without gimping the rest of your spec, it's completely game-breaking. It also affects some of the talent choices you can take later, such as Agility's armor penetration buff for being medium or light load. And due to this, and sadly, because I like it a lot, we will not be implementing Paragons at this time. After a big chat with Chris, we had a big conversation about what it would affect, and it breaks things to an extent where it isn't going to be enjoyable. However, really good news. Some of the new events in Conan, for those who are playing, will be aware that they're dropping Sipta recipes, which is, why haven't we got a Sipta server? Why can't we have a Sipta server? Oh, I'm going to play local on Sipta. Sipta isn't that great from what I've seen. It didn't get so much of an exception, but I get why people are doing it, because there's cool new recipes that are dropping on Exiled Lands. You can't make them. You can't get any Eldarium. So, I've been having a look at what we can do about this, and working on this right now, but we have things that work. We have a WNG trader we're going to bring into the game, an NPC who's going to sit somewhere, maybe more than one place, I don't know, still thinking about it. And he will be able to sell Eldarium bars that are required to craft some of the really nice Sipta recipes that are really cool. How we do that is still in discussion. We could allow players to sell resources to him in exchange for a bit of gold currency, which you could then buy the Eldarium with. There's various ways we're doing. So we're working on it. Eldarium bars will be coming. So all of those cool recipes that everyone's got, then you're going to be able to do something with them, which I think is the big news this week for Conan. I'm going to skate through Rust. We've got a lot of Rust notes this week. I don't know how many Rust players we have in the chat at the moment, but I'm going to go over them quickly anyway. Cube's been working really hard. Lots and lots of Rust development this last week. And I'm sure there's going to be some this week as well. Players are going to be happy to know that when you construct your base, and this is one of the big things with Rust, when you build things, very similar to Ark, you can't knock them down. It's because it's a PvP game, and it's because it can be abused. So players are going to be happy to know that when you construct your bases, you now have 3 hours to demolish the base structures with your hammer, instead of the vanilla 10 minutes. So if you make a mistake, no problem. You can reverse walls, you can take them down. But after the 3 hours have gone past, there is no moving them. It's explosives time, unfortunately. Random skins are now going to be applied to items that naturally spawn in the world. This is a really cool change, and it means that all of the amazing skins that are part of both their shop system and our supporter system, you have a chance of getting now for free, just for running around collecting loot. Any loot can be skinned. There's a good chance of it, and there's some really cool stuff dropping. Quick smelt has been adjusted to address the charcoal shortage. More charcoal. There was definitely an issue with some burning rates and stuff, and much like Ark, you need the charcoal to make gunpowder, etc., etc. So we sorted that. Syringes now stacking to 4 instead of 10. This was player requested changes for balance. You're going to find less scientists out on the roads. Apparently we had a scientist ganking problem, whereas they were ganking the players, so you're now going to find less of them on the road, ganging up on you every single turn you make. Various changes to raidable bases. These are really cool, by the way, and these are what's going to be happening with Ark very soon. They now spawn within the map at various locations, no longer submerged in water or around coasts. We've managed to find out why they were doing that, so raidable bases in more places. More of them spawn in the world now. You've got slightly longer to take them on. Again, player feedback. We responded. You now have longer to kill raidable bases. They no longer show up on the map, but you will be able to see them in the world with large bubbles around them. It makes the map less obtrusive. Again, player feedback. We hear you. We've fixed it. NPCs and turrets in the base will no longer attack you if you're outside the bubble. This is much like in Ark how we have the world bosses. We've applied the same thing, so it's familiar to everybody. However, while you're outside the bubble, you obviously can't damage anything inside the bubble. So it's a case if you're in the event or you're not in the event. They won't automatically respawn, so they'll stay up until they get raided. And again, player feedback. You asked, we delivered. Hard bases, now made of sheet metal, should be a little easier to attempt for newer players. Again, it's balance change. Again, players, you asked, we did. And there are now more NPCs guarding those raidable bases. Once again, player feedback. You asked for it. It's a decent suggestion. You're going to get it. That wraps up my news for the games this week. So let's move on to the cool stuff.
Right. While we're sorting out the giveaways, anybody seen any good movies this week or played any exceptional new games? I'd like to know.
That's true.
Box sets included, because I'm fast coming up to the end. I promise I'm going to watch the last episode of The Witcher, and then I need to move on to something else.
I played Ark, love it. Terraria, good game.
Yes, Terraria. Faz update. Yeah.
Faz update, most definitely. The Faz update is amazing. Definitely need to be getting in on that.
Oh, I'm being stupid. Okay, so how many giveaways are we going to do?
We did 4 last week.
We did do 4 last week, but we had 4 tiers to give away from, like a small selection of dinos.
True.
So are we going to pick 4 dinos and then do a roll for each one? Or are we going to let people just choose from the whole range?
Ooh, that's a good question. Or we do a mix. Turtles should definitely be given away. Turtles are amazing.
Yes, I agree with turtles.
Raise your new hatched crystal dinos. They're such a pain in the ass, but with a turtle, easy street.
No, we're not doing shiny roulette. It's not a big event. Okay.
Maybe Christmas time.
So,
everybody needs the turtles. For different reasons, I'm guessing. Nightshade babies. I can't give away babies, unfortunately.
how many turtles are we giving away? Because you need more than one turtle, don't you?
You do? Do you?
They're so big. Yeah, you need like
huge.
2 turtles for like every couple of babies or something like that.
I don't know. I was breeding crystal magmasaurs from 2 megacallons.
Yeah.
For the big, I'm by no means a massive breeder, but a couple of them was really easy.
Well, tell you what, we'll do one giveaway that'll have 4 winners.
Okay.
And from it you can pick. Could one of the mods do me a favour and post a list of all the crystal dinos? So all the Crystal Isles modded dinos, like the little Crystal Otter, the Whelpling, and all that stuff. Crystal Kellen, yeah. There's got to be a list somewhere.
I should have a spreadsheet with all that stuff in, but I can't open it at the moment.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go, Sandy.
Sandy, nice.
Is that all of them?
So Ankies,
Crystal-
Argies, Bazzies, Dinos, Drakes, Golems, Griffins, Magmasaurs, Mammoths, Megacallons, Moths, and Parases.
Do you know what we're missing there?
Stegos, here we go.
Yeah.
Parases, Snow Elves, Digimollucks, Therizzinosauruses, Onkers, Whelplings, Whelplings. I'm not sure about Whelplings.
Whelplings are lovely. They're those cute, tiny little cute dragons that sit on your shoulder and you can pet them and they go.
Totally. 3 types of crystal wyverns and Deinonychuses.
No roses. Okay, so we're saying that's the official list there,
Okay.
excluding the saddle.
What about then two turtles and pick one from the list, 4 winners?
I was just thinking 4 winners. They pick one from the list. They pick what they want from the list.
Okay.
2 each.
Okay, 4 winners, 2 dinos of your choice from that list.
Yeah, totally. Okay, we'll go for that.
That's fair, yeah.
60 seconds. React to the little bot post that's about to go in the chat channel.
Before you do that, I'm just going to say one last time. If you're listening and you're thinking, how the hell, why can't I see all this? Where's the reaction? Hover over the Roundtable 7 p.m. channel. You'll see a little pop-up what looks like a speech bubble. Open the chat. We're in there.
Okay, so give you all time.
Feel free to react. Don't worry about entering. Just do it. Win dinos. All good. Obviously, don't enter if you are playing Rust, because this doesn't apply to you. Don't take stuff away from stuff, but enter as many times. Just do it. Don't worry about it.
All right. Has anybody had a problem finding the chat channel that we're using? It's not the general channel.
I did put a post out earlier on, so hopefully people have seen that. But if not, that's how you do it. Hover over the Roundtable.
Okay. Well, I'll do 120 seconds then, just to give people.
Awesome. Sounds good.
I have to put that in as 2 minutes. So, duration 2 minutes. 4 winners. Prize: pick a crystal dino.
Here we go.
Boom.
So all you're doing is you're hitting the little party popper at the bottom. There we go. We've got nearly 30 people in this room. Let's climb. Let's go. 19. That's much better.
So, at the end of the giveaway, it will announce the winners. Yeah. Here's the problem, though, Scorp. They can't see that if they're not in the chat channel.
General chat for that. The main general.
Oh, I love it.
You're always lost, Bob.
Bob's lost everywhere. So when the giveaway ends, it will automatically pick 4 people at random. I have no control over who it picks. Their names will be spat out into the chat. Please, can you? Here's some important instructions. Open a ticket and give us the CCC coordinates to a Sol terminal that is not pin coded.
Okay.
And tell us what dinosaur you're claiming from that list that was posted in the channel above the giveaway.
And I'm going to ask the obvious question here. What is a CCC, DJ, and how do we do it?
Oh. It's in the channel already.
So when you do this, nothing is going to happen. You press tab, you type CCC, nothing is going to happen. You will see nothing. But if you go to the ticket you've created and tell us what dinosaur you want, and you do a Control V or a right-click paste, the coordinates, which look something like that at the bottom, will pop straight in, and we'll be able to teleport straight to your Sol terminal and deliver your dino.
I want everybody in the cluster to get familiar with using those coordinates.
Yeah.
Because, man, it makes our response times to your tickets much faster.
It does. It does. Nice.
There we go. So we got Hebby, we got Theo, we've got Gerpir, and we've got Mr. Footman. Awesome. So in the help section, there's a ticket section. Click Arc Ticket. Give us the coordinates to your Sol terminal and tell us what you want to win.
Congrats, Gerpa.
Don't forget the map.
Is this your first round table and you've already got the good stuff?
Yeah, totally. Oh, of course it was rigged. Not.
Like the Eve thing. Time to get Googling then. You've got time. It's all good. What I don't want to see is people trying to claim their dinos like at next week's roundtable. I've got one left that hasn't claimed this week, and I'm waiting for that. Oh, EVE Online. That's so touchy. Both good and bad memories. I had to type ring to enter. That's cool. The EVE devs have actually got a really good sense of humor. I used to love the music videos they used to put out. They definitely are.
Hey, I could do something very similar.
I think the
The
two
more
things
points
that
you
live in my head rent free after EVE would be the devs HTFU video and Little Bees by the Goonswarm. They will not leave my head even like 10 years later. Suez is now, I believe Suez is now deceased. The dude who sung Little Bees.
Best of playing Eve, probably.
Yeah. I also didn't realise till a lot later that when we were, remember when we lived up north and we were with FLA?
Yeah.
And there was, I can't remember her name. She used to run the FLA. She was quite a nice lady. And then we got raided by Bob, didn't we? And just couldn't understand how and what was going on. Apparently, she was married to Somali, who was Bob's kind of main CEO. So we were being played all along. It was freaking hilarious. Elaine used to talk to her, and
Yeah.
they knew what was going on, but they kept it between the women. While the blokes just fought each other and traded insults.
Wonderful.
But yeah, apparently she was Molly's missus. It's crazy.
Anyways, I think we're done for this evening.
We are done for this evening. Thank you very, very much, guys. As again, I'll say it one last time, you are all amazing. We utterly cannot comprehend how this is popped off. So just thank you all again. We have been the Wicked Ninjas. You have all been awesome. Thank you. Good night, and we'll see you next week.
Good night.
I'm just going to answer that last one. Caldari for life. Get out of my face, Galante. However, my main was a Galante. It's the blasters. You can't get around the blasters. Anyway, good night, guys. See you later. You're going to stay. Okay. We're going to find you here next week. An emaciated turtle just sitting there. Oh, I've been here since last week.